Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and variants thereupon. My name's Prism, and today I'm gonna make a video about Starfield. What would you believe it? That's not like that's the only content I've been making for the last few months. But I don't make content a lot, let's be real. Let's be real. It's not like I'm pumping out Starfield content, because if I'm honest, there was never any to pump out. But don't worry, I'm gonna pump out some Starfield content. I'm gonna make mod videos. I've got a let's play that I recorded while I was streaming the game, and I was doing like the main story and a couple side quests. But I recorded all of that. I got like 20 to 30 hours of footage. But yeah, that's besides the point. We're not talking about that right now. We're talking about what I think of Starfield, because I've played the game for 70 hours now. I finished the main story. I haven't actually done that many side quests. I started New Game Plus, so I know what's going on with all of that. I can't say that I've finished New Game Plus or even gone too deep into it, but I got there, and there's still a lot more that I need to talk about, which I can't do because I haven't played the game for long enough. I've only played for 70 hours, and if you know anything about Bethesda games, that's nowhere near enough. There is a lot of content spread across those 1,000 planets, but I have not got any final thoughts on this game. I'm still in the middle of playing it. I feel like I need to have like a whole long Starfield breakdown, what it's good at, what it isn't good at, but also after a few updates. But right now, we've only had one update on Starfield since its release. Let's just start off by talking about, what's bad about the game, because I'm sure there is a lot of hate that comes towards Starfield. And it's like, oh, Bethesda, they made Fallout 76, so Starfield is bad. Xbox! No! I like PlayStation more, therefore Starfield is bad. I don't like to shill multi-trillion-dollar corporations, but Bethesda are pretty good at what they do. They're not good at anything else, let's be real. They made a multiplayer game, but, we're not talking about that right now. We're just gonna talk about the bad parts of Starfield. So, it does look ugly, and not just that, the frame rate is just appalling. I was playing this game, when I first launched it, first of all, I had problems with my stream. I had to shut down my PC and restart it. Most of the power was coming from the GPU. I have a 3070 Ti. My CPU is a Ryzen 9 5900X. I think my GPU is probably a bottleneck, but I have also heard people with 4090s, the most powerful graphics card you can purchase, if not it's one of, that can't even run Starfield ultra settings at 60 FPS. Your game should be able to release at the bare minimum ultra settings on 4K resolution at 60 FPS, but it didn't. Every time I go into New Atlantis, the frame rate was just dropping like crazy. It went to like 30. I feel like 30 would be okay if I wasn't running it on a 30 series card on medium settings. DLSS. I was using the DLSS mod as well. That was one of the first things I did. Aquila City was horrendous. Neon was surprisingly good. I don't know why. The outside wasn't. That doesn't make any sense. Why was the I don't understand. What was going on the outside of the city that is taking up more frames than the inside? The inside is where all of the NPCs and the crazy lights are at. But the outside, there's rain particles. Yeah, okay, there's rain. There's fog in the distance. There's a big city, but the city isn't actually there. It's just the outside of the city. It's like Neon's the only city where you do have to use a loading screen to get inside. But let's forget about the frame rate right now. This game was not actually, no. We're not gonna forget about the frame rate, because I saw an interview, right? If you know, you know. But if you don't, there was an interview with Bloomberg, Todd Howard and Phil Spencer there, and the guy doing the interview is like, Todd, why did you not optimize the game for PC? Todd Howard goes there for a minute, he kind of lags, he's got like a really high ping or something, I don't know why. And he stands there, we did! Then he said, you may need to upgrade your PC. Upgrade to what, Todd? Upgrade to what? What do I need to play this game at 60 FPS? Anyways, let's forget about the frame rate. There's another big problem that I did have with this game, which I'm so grateful that I saw the leaks before the game came out. I'd be so annoyed, much more than I already am, that this isn't a thing in the game, but it's the spaceflight, right? It's just not good, if I'm honest. It's not good. Oh, this is a Bethesda game, they've never done spaceflight before. Did you expect seamless travel between the planets? No, actually, I didn't. And still, they managed to mess it up. I have thought of so many solutions to this problem. So let's talk about what the mechanic actually is when it comes to flying through space. I have had this issue since the first gameplay reveal, when Todd Howard said, with over 1,000 planets all open for you to explore, or all fully open. No. They are not all fully open, Todd. Shut up. Shut Your mouth. No, they're not fully open. They have invisible walls when you walk too far away from your ship. The invisible walls, they do not hinder the experience, but what does hinder the experience is landing on a planet, not taking off. Taking off is fine. You get into your ship, go into the cockpit, and then you hold Y to take off. And then you take off, you're in space, right? That's fine. You might have nothing in space. You might have some debris or something. There might be a character that wants to talk to you. You might find your grandma in there. I don't know. And then you're like, okay, now what? That's all I can think about. Every time I go into space, I'm just thinking, now what? What do I do in space? There is nothing. There are space fights, but like, why would I do that? The loot isn't that good. Going into space just to find a random combat encounter is just not it. There are NPCs that come across you and they're like, oh, can you give me money, please? And I'm like, no, go away. And that person goes away. Space, yeah, of course. Space is empty. In real life, space is empty. Even with the technology that they have, space should be empty. In a game, if space is going to be empty, just don't do it. Just have me fast travel around the planets anyway. Because I feel like I'm investing all this time into building a ship, and I'm going through all of these loading screens just to go into space, just to be met with the worst traveling in between planets as possible. How do we travel between planets? I'll tell you. You go into space. You're in space. Let's assume there's nothing there. No NPCs or anything, because that's what it is most of the time. And then you press the pause button. You press the pause button, you literally stop the game. And then you go onto the star map and you gotta select your star system. I know you can travel between planets without opening a menu at all. But I think what's annoying is when you've got a star that's too far away, you gotta open your menu. You gotta warp to the next star system. Okay, good job. Then you're in space. Again, nothing's happening. So you open the menu again. You're stopping the game. You just keep stopping the game just for me to get somewhere. Bethesda games have always been good at exploring. I play Skyrim, I walk somewhere, I can go from Whiterun to Falkreath, just like that. I can fast travel, of course, but in Skyrim, you shouldn't fast travel. The journey is what makes Skyrim Skyrim. It makes the game so immersive. You might come across someone who tries to kill you. You might be walking around and you're seeing all these amazing sights. You're seeing all these mountains and trees and creatures that, you know, I gotta avoid them. And then there'll be creatures that are like, oh yeah, I could do with some of those wolf pelts. In this game, it is not that. Once you're in space, it's not like you can keep flying and maybe you'll find something. Once you've reached that loading screen and you're there in space, your journey is done. It's already been done for you. You have successfully avoided all enemies, all NPCs, but sometimes you might get an enemy or an NPC. And then again, once you've interacted with those NPCs, your journey is done. Enter your loading screen. There is no reason for there to be spaceflight. This is just a huge issue I had with the game. And let's talk about landing on a planet. Going from planet to planet is great. Taking off from the planet is great. Going between system to system, terrible. Landing on a planet is also terrible. Because the amount of times I have tried to land on New Atlantis because I have a quest and I just literally can't. You literally can't land in New Atlantis. What you do is because of the way the game is set up, you have a planet, you have those little diamond things, those are your fast travel points. Usually what you can do, which is another amazing thing that I thought was so good, but it just sometimes isn't. If you go into space and you enter your scanner, you don't have to open a menu at all. You just look on the planet. You can look at those waypoints that you have been to before. Oh look, there's an outpost over there. Let me go and press the X button to land there. So you do that, and then you feel like coming down, and then you land, right? Then you leave your spaceship, and then that's cool. You go around and you're like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna put an outpost here. I'm gonna put an outpost. So you put down an outpost. Then that's created another fast travel point. Now that's two fast travel points that are right next to each other. The way that Starfield does it is like they group them together. If you want to go click on this group, you click on the group and it expands. That's pretty good. It's really useful in the star map, but in the actual planet view, when you're actually in your spaceship and you're like, oh, I want to land on my outpost. Oh, what? I can't. I have to open the menu to then expand the menu, and then I can enter the loading screen, and then it doesn't even have a landing animation. You don't land. You just appear. You just teleport, and oh, I'm there. I'm at my outpost, and your ship is like 500 meters away. I was dealing with this pretty tough last night. I was up until 4 a.m. building an outpost. Well, why am I even walking to my ship? I should just fast travel. Why am I even taking off? Why am I even flying back to the planet where I set my outpost? if I should just fast travel, because there is no landing. Why am I flying somewhere if I can't actually land there and I just teleport there? Why don't I just teleport there? Because you can't just do that. You literally can't land somewhere where you've landed before. I think sometimes you can, if it is just a diamond by itself and you can press that land button from your planet view, you can land there. I think, I'm pretty sure. With New Atlantis, you literally can't land there. Once you've landed there for the first time and you've explored more than one waypoint, that's it. Every time you land at New Atlantis, you just teleport there. You just teleport on the planet. You teleport outside the lodge. You teleport in the commercial district. You teleport in the Mars district. There is no reason to fly to Jemison if you're going to land in New Atlantis, because you don't land. There is no landing animation. There is literally no landing animation. There could at least be a landing animation. Why is there no landing animation? Let me land, get out of my ship. It's just like they removed something that was already there. You can land if you just go to a random waypoint. You can land. There's a and then you walk out of your spaceship. That is cool. New Atlantis, no. You just teleport. If you're not gonna have a landing animation, which you literally did have for the first time I go there, don't teleport me outside of my spaceship. What if I want to do something in my spaceship? What if I want to have a nap? So I walk all the way back to my spaceship, go in through the ladder, and then you sleep. Now I have spoken so much about menus, frame rate. Let's just talk about some easier, simpler, less important negatives about the game. The game at the beginning is very slow. It is probably the worst start to a Bethesda game. Now I know everyone likes to dunk on Skyrim's, hey you're finally awake, but like Starfield's one is especially bad in comparison. I get it, Fallout 4, you can't do anything. You have to do all of these things in that same order, and then you reach your step out moment. But I feel like Starfield didn't even have a step out moment. I remember Todd Howard saying, oh, we like to do a step out moment. Skyrim had a step out moment, Oblivion had a step out moment, even Morrowind had a step out moment. Thinking about it, all the way back to Arena, there was a step out moment. But Starfield, I feel like just didn't have it. I mean, there's the part where I'm just going to spoil the beginning for you. It's not really important. You start off in a mine and you do some mining, then you touch the artifact, and then you're like, okay, now we just go to the surface. Then you open the door and it's like, wow, you're supposed to be like, wow, there's like a whole thing, but it just doesn't help with the low frame rate. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it's just the frame rate that just dropped, and that's just what annoyed me so much. Even then, that's not really a step out moment. The step out moment in a Bethesda game is like, I can just go there. Hypothetically speaking, yes, once you've done that step out moment where you've come out of the mine and you're on the planet, I guess you can go anywhere on the planet. Or it's a moon, you're on a moon. The moon that you're on is completely barren. There is nothing there. You know, if you go too far, you'll hit an invisible wall. So there was really nothing to do. You had to follow the story to continue. That's not your step out moment. It looks like a step out moment, but it just isn't. You are not free to do anything. So you then do the whole thing. You get your spaceship, you start flying it. Again, once you reach space, it's not really a step out moment, but I guess it kind of is more than the last one. So you can just go to any of the planets in that system. And there are quite a lot of planets actually. And obviously with a lot of planets, there's a lot of points of interest to look at. And that's the first thing I did. The mission is you go to Crete. You do your dilly-dallying in Crete, and you get that whole mission. I didn't even do that. When I was told to land on Crete, I did not land on Crete. No, I didn't land where I was supposed to on Crete. I landed just at a random point, because I just wanted to see what it would be like. And there was a lot of stuff. Points of interest, robots, spaces, Crimson Fleet. It was great. I was leveling up. I was doing a bit of exploring, and it was great. I'm just trying to cope, okay? That's all this game has been since it got revealed. It's just cope. Can't just go to another system. I don't know why you can't. There shouldn't be any reason for you not to. It should just be completely unlocked. Vasco said, this is Protocol Indigo, so it's got a slow start. And I know I said I was going to talk very briefly about it, but I didn't. My next major, I haven't really dabbled with it. Outpost, I don't need you. They actually don't do anything. In Fallout 4, if you had an outpost, you could like build something cool and do all these things. In Starfield, I know if they wanted to have the same thing as Fallout 4, then they had to like make all of these new prefabs. There's just nothing there. There is nothing really in the outposts, but for some reason I'm just investing all of my time in it right now. It also seems like there is no reason for you to have people working there. I don't know what the people do. In Fallout 4, you had people farming for crops and things like that. In Starfield, everything's automated. Put down your extractor, you give it some power, and you're done. It's making resources for you. You don't need people there, so I don't know what the whole thing about putting people on outposts is. I don't know what the whole thing about having a crew for your ship is either. That's another thing that seems even more useless. That's the outpost game. It's not impressive. It's not anything close to what Fallout 4 had. Now, I know everyone hated Fallout 4 for its outposts or settlements, and how they force you to save settlements and do things. In Starfield, there's really nothing. Something else that I had a problem with, again, is not major as anything else that I've spoken about, but it's like, if I have multiple ships, why do they share the same inventory? Like, if I've got a ship with 1,500 cargo, and I'm like, you know what? I want to use my fast ship. The fast ship has hardly any mass. It has really powerful engine, but the other one's a cargo ship, so it's quite slow. It gets the job done for its purpose. The other one doesn't have much cargo because it doesn't need it. It's just supposed to be going fast. All my cargo from the cargo ship has been filled up, 1,500 kilograms, and then I'm like, okay, let me use my fast ship. And then it goes from 1,500 kilograms, 200 kilograms, and all of the cargo that has come from the first one has gone into the second ship. Why? Why not just leave it in the first ship? That would just make so much sense. I don't understand. Whenever I stole a ship, it always usually just had less cargo than the ship I already had, but all of my cargo from the previous ship is now on the new ship. It doesn't make any sense. It's immersion breaking and stupid. It's not that important. It's just an issue I had with the game. Now I finished talking about bad stuff, and now I'm going to talk about the good stuff, because there's a lot more good stuff about the game. I'm going to talk about the good stuff because I can just be more relaxed, and I don't even have to talk about it for long, hopefully. The first thing I want to talk about is the in-depth cities. When I first went to New Atlantis, I was just like, whoa, there's so many people here, so many people talking. This is quite annoying, actually. I know I was talking about positives, but this is annoying. When you catch a non-playable character, an NPC, talking about something like, hey, did you know you could get a job at Ryujin Industry? I didn't ask for that, and then it's just giving me a quest. I don't want your quest. I feel like those things should either be kind of like rumors in Oblivion, where you heard something in another city or about a character. You shouldn't put the quest on my quest marker. Oh, I'm supposed to be talking about positive. Forget about that. You shouldn't put my thing on the quest marker, because I have about 20 quests at one time. None of them are radiant quests. None of them are randomly generated. They're all handcrafted quests, have all got stories, and it's just intimidating. But it's great that there are so many quests. Yeah, that's how in-depth these cities are. All I wanted to do in a killer, I didn't want to care about the Freestar Collective or really any faction throughout my playthrough. I'm just going to go through the city. I need to go to the end because I need to get out of the city. But on the way, I got children saying, "Sir, can you help me?" And I'm like, no, who do you think I am? Your teacher? Shut up. I hate kids. Why would I do that? But it is good that these quests are there, and they are quite in-depth. They all do have stories to tell. Quests are great. They all have choices. And that's the next part, actually. The quests all have a lot of choices, I guess. When it comes to a Bethesda game, choices have always been a part of it. As much as people like to pretend like they don't, you can approach a quest in whatever way possible. It's very much like, oh, I could talk to a character and I could try to persuade them. You've just got so many different builds. There's not only so many ways to approach a quest, but there's so many ways to build your character to then approach these quests in that specific way that you like. I'm sure a lot of people really like being stealthy and sniping. I do. You can go and be stealthy and use knives or axes or your fists. You don't need to do combat. You can put all of your skills into like social skills, which I didn't do. My character was based off of a Discord mod called Ryan. Purposely just avoided the social tab on the skill tree. Surprisingly, my persuasion was working, so I think the persuasion's kind of overpowered anyway. Maybe I'm just lucky. The persuasion minigame is really good. Kind of like a mix between Fallout 4 and Oblivion. But this is different. You do have turns. You do have to like say the right thing. It's not 100%, like it's not always going to work. It is still a chance, which is great. It does have like a kind of risk and reward aspect. You don't want to keep risking all the red ones because you'll run out of turns, and it's really hard to just save and then load a save. I think another thing in Fallout 4 was just like you said something and it just brought out a new piece of information. Most of the time it wasn't really doing anything game changing, but in this it's always doing something game changing. If you can persuade someone to give you something, they'll give it to you. If you can persuade someone to not fight you, they won't fight you. Sometimes it just worked. I never reloaded a save. If I ever said something wrong or did something wrong, I never reloaded a save. I can't remember any times that I ever reloaded a save. I think twice, and that was because of bugs. Let's just move on to the next part, because I'm done talking about the persuasion. The persuasion minigame is really good. Let's talk about bugs. The bugs are great. No, there are no bugs. There's no bugs. Well, there are, because it's a Bethesda game. If you think about how broken games have been lately, and how broken Bethesda games have always been in comparison to well-polished games, Starfield is nowhere near as buggy as Fallout 4 or Skyrim when those came out. I mean, I wasn't there for Skyrim when it came out, but Fallout 4, it was buggy. Fallout 76 still is buggy. Somehow, their last game, which they are continuously updating, is more buggy than their most recent game, which came out last week. Starfield, I didn't have any major bugs. I think there was one time, I'm not going to spoil it, but there was a character that I was talking to in space, because this is a major story point, and I was sitting there like, wait a minute, what's going on? I gotta grab jump away from this person, or I've got to fight this person, and I think I chose the grab jump away, and it thinks that I'm in combat. This person, that person is not there. I can see it, I couldn't fight it, the combat music was playing, and I couldn't grab jump away. So I was just stuck. So I had to reload the last save. The other great part is the atmosphere. Now I know I was dunking all on the graphics. You're on that planet, you see the fog in the distance, you see all of these rocks, mountains, points of interest in the distance, which you know are randomly generated, but you're like, I want to go there. And then you realize it's 1.5 kilometers away. I can't be bothered to walk all the way there. So why can't I drive a car? It is the year 2330. Why can I not drive a car? You have spaceships that travel more than the speed of light. They make wormholes, and you're telling me there are no cars. Oh, but you got a jetpack. Well, shut up, Todd. If I am on a planet and I see something that's ages away and the gravity is high, oh, I just wish I had a car or a motorbike, something, a hoverboard, I don't know. It's 2330. You can think of something. Walking to the next point of interest, which is ages away, is just not it. Yeah, I like the atmosphere. But the atmosphere can only be appreciated for about 5 seconds before it gets boring and I'm like, oh, hurry up. The next thing I want to talk about is the shipbuilding. Now, there are lots of modules you can build rooms, like science rooms and bedrooms. I don't know why. I guess it just makes it seem more like a home. It's quite in-depth. It took me a while to understand. There's lots of different kinds of weapons. You can put anything almost anywhere. It's quite hard to, you know, get used to all of the different modules and where it goes and how it's going to look good. But if you put too many cargo holds in there, you're going to need a better engine, or you're going to need more engines. You can get more engines. If you're too dumb, you can't fly certain parts because they're too OP. Shipbuilding is really good. I don't really know how to explain why it's so good, but I just really like it. It's kind of addicting when you're like, okay, I'm just going to add a module, and then you're there for an hour and you've basically rebuilt your whole ship. By the way, ladders in this game, I didn't believe it. Oh, and vaulting? You can like vault over things? That's crazy. I can't believe that in a Bethesda game. It doesn't make any sense, but it's crazy that it's there. I love it. Ladders, I can't believe that. I mean, ladders in any 3D video game are janky. They're never good. Never. I don't think I've ever come across a game with ladders in 3D that just make sense. They just never do. All games have janky ladders. There is no such thing as a good ladder in a video game. Give me a good ladder, and I'll prove why it's wrong. Maybe if you give me a good ladder, I'll love that game forever. Now, there's other stuff. There's a bounty system. Towards the end of my game, I needed to kill a character in New Atlantis, and I killed that character. I got a 650 credit bounty. Guys, I had to kill this guy. It was part of the quest, so I was getting hunted. I had the police chase after me. I'm not messing about. I killed them. And then Barrett was like, whoa, I can't believe you've just done that. Like, shut up. They shot first. They had no reason to shoot me. I also got 15,000 credits put onto my bounty after that. After each kill as well. My bounty got up to 45,000. The other thing I want to talk about is the guns. Shooting a gun in Starfield feels a lot better than shooting a gun in Skyrim. I don't know why I said guns in Skyrim. There are no guns in Skyrim. I should have just said Fallout 4. We're here to talk about the story. Bethesda games and their stories, that's what the main thing is. I'm not going to spoil the story. I'm just going to say the story and New Game Plus are really good. No spoilers. The story is great. And New Game Plus makes it a whole lot better. Well, I mean, I haven't really delved into the second playthrough, but I want to, but I'm just going to wait to stream it. Alright, so I have probably done about an hour or more of just talking about Starfield. I'm done here. I can't talk about much. I haven't fully experienced the game. I'll come back in a few years when I have got a valid review, but until then, I'm going to try and pump out some Starfield content, maybe some mod videos. I don't know if I'll wait for the creation kits, or maybe I'll do like some tips and tricks. I don't think I can do that. I feel like I just want to play the game, you know? I'm just gonna, you know, hiatus, whatever, hiatus, no more Starfield content until until I feel like I fully experienced the game. I'm not even gonna do my review until after that. I'll do the Starfield mods fine, once those are becoming a proper thing, but who cares about that right now, because I'm going to leave. I'm going on a hiatus, I guess, because I want to play Starfield. That's not all I'm gonna be doing. I will upload, but well, now I'm gonna make a music channel, because I did a whole series of videos where I did like trying to learn a Polyphia song in a week. Yeah, okay, I did that, and it got quite a few views actually. I was kind of shocked. I can't top that on a channel where I'm doing gaming videos. No, I can't do that. I'm gonna make a music channel where I play the guitar. Maybe I'll try and do covers, but I have a few things to do. I'm gonna do it all on this guitar, obviously. The TOD10N, crazy guitar. By the way, this is the end of the video, and if you couldn't tell, I have a massive spot on my head. Do you see that? My glass balance on it. How? Oh my god. It's been irritating me. I hate looking in this direction because I've got my face there, and I have my camera there. I'm trying to look at the camera, but seeing this big red dot, crazy. But yeah, that's it. I'm done. Bye bye.